We are the first ones to start going around and say, like, we are a bank, but don't be afraid of us.
When I retire and I can see that these people that have to work with me, they've become leaders themselves, that will make me really happy.
I want the world to remember me as a leader who always put impact first.
Vigo stands for social enterprise because we actually provide value to the lowest side of the community around us to help them grow.
I try to see any translation that I can utilize my knowledge to really make an impact to other people.
My father bought me a computer when I was, just entered my primary school. From that moment, I started to realize that this is something I would love to do in the future.
Good afternoon, Jakarta. I think your mic is off.
On. There you go.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. What an incredible energy.
Yeah, and what an incredible video, am I right? What a video. My name is Miguel. I'm from Tech in Asia, and beside me is...
I'm Esther, also from Tech in Asia. So it is a real privilege to have all of you here today for the grand finale of day one. First of all, let's have a round of applause for staying. Yes.
I wish I could clap, but I can't.
Yes, I know, we're like this.
So we've spent the day exploring the cutting-edge technology that exists here in Southeast Asia. We've been dissecting trends, mapping out the future of Asia's tech scene here in our stages and in the exhibition hall. But now, we get to celebrate the folks who are actually building that future.
That's right, Miguel. We're here for the CTO of the Year award, powered by our friends at AWS. So this isn't just an award, it's a spotlight on the architects of innovation that's happening all around Southeast Asia.
Yeah, Esther, I still remember about 10, 11 months ago, sitting in a cafe with our friends at AWS and thinking about the things that we could do in 2025, and this idea came about, right? What if we do a CTO of the Year awards and go around Southeast Asia?
Yep.
And boom, a few months later, we had over 100 applications of the brightest tech leaders across Southeast Asia. A good number of them were then put through a tough semi-final round.
Yep.
And today, only 6 finalists remain. These are the leaders behind each build. They're the quiet leaders and heroes turning vision into reality, and they've gone through a lot in this specific program as well.
Yes, and tonight we find out which one of them will be named CTO of the Year. The stakes are high, the competition is fierce, and we're in for a showcase of true leadership.
Yeah, so before we move forward, let's give our support to the CTOs. Maybe a round of applause, everybody, for the CTOs who are seated here at the front. Amazing. Okay, some mechanics, just so we're all on the same page. Here's how this is going to work. Our 6 finalists will compete in two intense rounds. Round 1 is the scenario pitch.
So last Friday, we gave each finalist a unique, high-stakes business scenario tailored to their industry. They will have exactly 3 minutes to present their strategic vision and then technical solution.
A bell will ring when their time is up, and the bell sounds something like this. Amazing. And then our finalists will then answer some questions from our judges.
So then comes round 2, the ultimate test of agility. Now this is where we test our 6 finalists, how they would be able to think on their feet together for an impromptu Q&A.
Each finalist will draw one random question, unseen, from a bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl.
Yeah, there we
Right
go.
there.
There's the bowl. It's our first time seeing the bowl as well. We feel like we're hosting Miss Universe or something.
A little
like
bit, yeah.
So they will pick a question from the bowl, and they will have 60 seconds to deliver their answer. So it's about authentic, on-the-spot thinking. It's not an easy task, so please do show your support as well for all the CTOs who will be on stage today. Now, with all that they're going to go through for this program, what's in store for them, Esther?
Of course, there's more than just a bragging rights on the line. The CTO of the Year will walk away with a cash prize of USD 5,000. So give a
Cash.
I mean, I'm from Malaysia, so I don't know what the conversion is gonna be in rupiah, but I think in ringgit, that's around 20,000, if I believe, if my math is correct and the exchange rate is correct too.
Yeah, I think in the Philippines, I can probably get a second-hand car, I think. Anyway, the winner also receives a travel reimbursement, an exclusive dinner with some of the top CTOs in the region, and valuable exposure across Tech in Asia channels and our startup factory.
So basically a prize package designed to celebrate and accelerate the work of a true tech visionary.
Okay, it's my turn. And now for the folks who have the incredibly difficult task of choosing our winner tonight. Please join us, everyone, in welcoming our esteemed panel of judges.
First, the CTO for Dana Indonesia, Norman Sasono. Give him a round of applause, everybody.
It does feel like we're in a Miss Universe competition. I don't know why that's what I keep thinking
TIA
of.
version.
Yeah. Next, the Director and Chief Information Technology Officer of XLSMART, Yessie Yosetya.
Please also welcome the CTO of Foodpanda, Sebastian Rodriguez.
And finally, representing our partner for this program, the ASEAN Head of Startup Solutions Architecture at AWS, Pandurang Nayak. Pandurang, would you also like to share a quick few words here up on stage? A round of applause, please, again, for Pandurang.
Thank you. So, welcome everyone to Tech in Asia's conference. My name is Pandurang. I lead the Startup Solution Architecture team for ASEAN. And I'm incredibly thrilled to be here as part of this esteemed panel of judges, talking to some of the brightest folks we have in ASEAN, right? So you heard them. There are more than 100 applications, out of which there have been multiple rounds. While doing their day jobs, these 6 contestants have been able to, climb up multiple rounds and come into the finalists. So I'm really, really thrilled to hear them speak, and it's going to be quite exciting. When we talk about startups, when we read startup stories on Tech in Asia or anywhere else, it's always about these massive fundraisers and unicorns and some brilliant marketeers, some great CEO with a vision. You'll hear stories of people drawing stuff on a paper napkin and then taking that to reality. It's very rarely that you put a spotlight on the real silent heroes in the background, the ones who are sitting and debugging code, the ones who are worrying about cost optimization, or the ones who are trying to make sure that everything that they do is super efficient, bringing technology, mentoring teams, and making it build, making things build, and having technology touch a lot of people's lives. So these are representative of those people, and so I think everybody here and the ones who participated in this tournament have been really, really noteworthy for and inspirational for everybody, right? One of the things that we see from AWS and in the last few years especially has been very true is the amount of innovation that's happening here, whether it's Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand. There's so much innovation happening in the tech space. I can dare to say that it's not Silicon Valley or Shenzhen or any other place that's kind of winning now. It's where consumption is really going into creating new innovation and creating it in a way where we have multiple languages, multiple cultures, so many different things, that nuances, regulation, and so many things that are unique to this part of the world. And in that, being able to thrive and innovate and build some really cool technology is really, really inspirational. So very, very excited to kind of see that happen here. At AWS, we have always believed that technology access should be available to everyone, whether it's a large enterprise, whether it's a military organization, or whether it's a startup, they all get access to the same kind of technology. And that's been our way of kind of supporting and being championing these startups to make sure that they are achieving whatever they are set out to achieve. So for us, it's a big privilege to be associated with this event and be part of this thing of celebrating these CTOs. So I don't want to hold on and delay what we want to kind of hear them speak today. It's their night. So join me again in giving everybody a big round of applause and wishing you all the best for all the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pandurang, for those inspiring words. A huge thank you to our entire judging panel for lending their expertise here today.
All right, so we are about to get started. Wow, my volume is very high. I shocked myself. We're about to get started, so I just wanted to take a quick minute to ask the finalists, how are you feeling? Are you ready?
Thumbs up.
Give us maybe one inhale, one exhale. And to the audience, Jakarta, are you ready? I feel like we can do better than that.
Yeah, I think we come on. It's
think?
day one, everybody. You have energy, and we got to give the energy to all these brave 6 finalists that are going to be here today. So again, I'm going to ask you one more time. TIA, are you guys ready? Yes.
All right. Now it's time to meet our finalists. Kicking off round 1, please welcome to the stage from the Philippines, the CTO of Tonik, Sateesh, Reddy.
Tonik is a fully digital bank that's changing the game for financial access, allowing people to save and borrow entirely through their phones. Sateesh, how are you feeling?
Yeah, quite okay.
Okay, so here's your challenge. Amidst rising cyber attacks, the Philippine Central Bank has asked Tonik to pioneer a resilience-as-a-service framework for the nation's digital banking sector. You have 3 minutes to propose a next-generation security architecture that could serve as a model for the entire industry. When you're ready, the stage is yours.
Let's take it. Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Sateesh, CTO of Why the Bell already? Should I leave? Kidding. So yeah, CTO of Tonik, part of the founding team, did a lot of implementations, built the Tonik platform from the scratch to what we are having today. So today my challenge of how I can bring cybersecurity to the next level, how do we elevate and bring more operational security. So if it is given to me, I can think of orchestrating it in 3 layers. The starting of which, today we all talk about cybersecurity from an angle of how do we react to it, how the reaction when something happens, how do we mitigate it, how do we get it to a stop, how do we recover. So I think we should be stepping towards how proactively we can stop it and using more of AI. The predictive AI is out there. There is a lot of data that we can look into. The second part of it I think about is in terms of how do we decentralize customer PA data. That's where even the cyber criminals and cyber frauds are happening much intensively these days. And finally, it's a culture where how digital banks, at least from the perspective of Philippines, we can work together and kind of create a consortium and make sure we fight the problem at a common cause. So going back to the predictive AI, right? Like today we sit on tons of data. Call it telemetry data, you have customer navigations, network traffic information, a lot of logs we print around the APIs and everywhere. And we also have a lot of threat intelligence which is already provided by various providers and subscriptions. So if you load all them back into the AI, and that becomes a beautiful machine learning model which can actually help you to contain from happening a situation like that. So how? Let's say we have this model which gives any insights. When you have to prevent, how do you have to prevent is all about your dynamic play that you can do on the customer side. Let's say I'm trying to do a transaction. Suddenly my behavior is different from my regular behavior as per the model. The model can just dynamically pop me with a authentication challenge. Hey, you have to show your face for this volume of transaction because it's very abnormal. And that's how we can prevent the customer getting from the transactional fraud itself. There is more to be done on the back end, but this is where I look at protecting the customer. Second part is where we talk about IDs. It's the biggest problem. Trust me, in the Philippines, we have faced it, we have seen it. We are the first digital bank, we have to go through all the pains. We have to deal almost a dozen IDs. It's a zoo of IDs there. And every ID has been issued by multiple government authorities. Verifying them becomes a nightmare. So in this context, why we have to verify, why we have to store, why we have to collect, and why we have to maintain all of this in our databases is just going to become a burden when it comes to something like a cyber attack or kind of forgery of documentation, right? So in India, Singapore, we know there is a DigiLocker, SingPass.
All right. That's time. Thank you,
wow,
Sateesh.
That's time is 3 minutes.
It's fast, I know. But thank you so much. A round of applause, please. All right. No, please stay for now. We have time for 2 questions from our judges. Yes, we have space for 2 questions. Anyone want to start?
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Hey. Okay, it works now. Good. My question is more about in this world of cybersecurity and PI data, and you are mentioning about the use of AI, and how do you deal with AI and PI data in the context of your presentation?
I would see this from 2 different angles. PA data is something which I want customer to own it. Customer is the one who is the proprietary of it. So he just has to verify the details and keep it in his own wallet. We can build that wallet. And whenever he wants to do a relationship with any of the bank or an entity, he can just share it in one time. And all the banks need to rely on that as information, saying that yes, he's a genuinely good customer. So I don't have to store anything, technically. Probably I have to store only a few components of it, rather than the full information about the customer. But coming to the AI, it's in a different side of it. I have a lot of information around not the customer PA data, rather it's more transactional data. Rather it's more on how he performs, where he performs, what is his geolocations, at what time of the hour he usually do this volume of transactions. If we collect all of this information and put into your model, that's already my specific behavior, it's personalized to me. And this level of personalization really helps, where if I am doing something out of normal, it's okay to throw the challenge to the customer, and customer also believes that, yes, something happened. Just because of the trust, they're asking me more challenging questions. Let me go through that. And it's not regular. With that, there is an amount of trust you build for the customer, and you make sure the trust is taken by the customer, and you have more stickiness of your customer inside. So one problem is cybersecurity issue that you're preventing it. The other side is bringing trust and making sure the customer is with you and he starts depending on you as a primary bank.
A follow-up question, Sateesh. So when you were, let's keep the topic of this decentralized ID, right? So how would you balance between regulatory compliance and the ideas of yours of decentralizing ID? Because now you are relying on the other entity to actually verify, not your own.
So we recently did, we are the first digital bank. Again, the problems are all faced by us first, and then we have the people to take it over there. So we recently implemented something called Philippines National ID. They call it as PhilSys. If there are any Filipinos here, they would really relate to it. They call it the National ID. So even if with that ID, when we look at it, right, there are like, in the same ID segment, there are 4 different varieties. That means we are opening up again what kind of data is printed on one ID when you are doing a OCR or verifying it, and you have to store it, send it to the processing, whichever organization. But some of these IDs doesn't have a open API or API that I can connect and verify.
Sorry, Sateesh, we hit the end of the 3 minutes, but thank you so much again for your time. A round of applause, please, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was brutal.
I feel as a CTO, I feel for him because I would.
Yeah.
This is really hard.
You didn't break a sweat, so that's good, Sateesh. Thank you so much. You can go back to your seat now.
Sure,
yeah.
thank you.
Another round of applause, guys. Sateesh for the first finalist to do that. Next up, from Indonesia, please welcome the CTO of McEasy, David Gunadi.
McEasy is at the forefront of logistics, digitizing truck and bus fleets so companies can track their vehicles and deliveries in real time.
Hi guys.
Hi David.
Hello.
We met last year, yeah?
We did, yeah. It's
here at Tech in Asia conference.
Again, yeah.
It's a plug. David, your scenario is a big one. A major conglomerate wants McEasy to pilot a partially autonomous logistics network between Java and Sulawesi. Your mission is to outline the technological roadmap for this ambitious project, aiming to cut logistics costs by 25% in just 12 months. So we're going to get out of your way. And when you are ready, your time starts
now.
Thank you. Hi everyone. I'm David. When people think about a CTO job, they're thinking me building AI system. Well, most of the time, I just reset people's password when they forget about it. So being here is an honor and a nice change of pace. For this scenario that we have, we're going to start by looking into our existing data. We've got data for our routes, our trucks, our ferries, our ports. And from all of that, we'll try to figure out what's the best pilot program to start with. The pilot will start on land with a semi-autonomous self-driving trucks. We'll fit the trucks with an AI dashcam, not just for safety, but we want the dashcam to be able to capture those hard-to-places road condition, how wide is it, what's the obstacle, what's the road surface like, which means that all this data will go to our server. The more trips we do, the more we learn, the smarter we get, and hopefully the more efficient we could become. After land, we're going to tackle the coordination between land and sea, and this is where the truck and the ferries comes in. We want to achieve two things here. Number one, we want to minimize the waiting time between the ferries and the trucks. The less waiting times basically means more efficiency. And number two, we want to make sure that the ferry, possibly if we could, they're always on full load, both from Java to Sulawesi and also the other way from Sulawesi back to Java. And to do that, all this data that we've got collecting in our AI control tower, we want to be able to give a smart prediction for scheduling and routes to our operators. The important thing here is that the operator still have the final say because they can look at the suggestion, have a look, revise it, because there's always a local knowledge that we'll probably miss somewhere. That way, we're not only relying on AI to do our job, but we also build trust. The operator can slowly learn to trust the AI algorithm, and hopefully over time, they can they can take more of a backseat. Once we reach Sulawesi, this is where it gets interesting. We all know that there are some places that are quite hard to reach with vehicles, and that's where the drones comes in. And no, I'm not worried about the drones being stolen, because Indonesia is a very safe country. So with the drones, the smart play here is to set up probably local hubs on the village. The drone can go there. It will have like a self-recharging solar-powered ports. Also have internet connection to relay all the drone data back to the server. In terms of risk, because that's what us CTO do, we always tell the CEO, this is the problem. Number one, connectivity, for sure. The device need to be able to store the data locally until such time that they become online and they can send all those cute data back to the server. And number two is probably compliance and regulation. We need to liaise with Common Hub, make sure we're compliant on that side as well. And in terms of KPIs, we're looking into reducing the waiting time on the ports, increasing the ferry load, and overall reducing the logistic cost from end to end by 25% per kilometer. If we manage to do this, we're not going to just cut costs. We'll create the blueprint for Indonesia, 17,000 island, and that's what McEasy is for. Thank you.
Right on time. Thank you, David.
Breathe.
Breathe. You got it. You got it in one breath. You got it in the last second.
Thank you.
Now over to the judges for their questions.
Thank you. I have a question. So whatever you're building, at the end of the day, it will be judged by whether you make the cut of that 25% within 12 months.
That's best business,
right?
isn't
So
it?
if you meet that number, your success. If you don't meet that number, your tech is failed.
I would say if we don't meet that number and we can still make some sort of saving, I think that's a good lesson learned in my book.
So my question would be, how would you validate that the net will be 25% saving, but you will need CapEx as well as OpEx to operate all those technologies?
Correct.
And then do you see, is that something that can be achieved within 12 months? And what about beyond 12 months? Will it be sustainable?
Okay, good question, thank you. In terms of CapEx, it's going to be like a lot, which is why the don't have my case anymore. It will be a lot. I don't think we can recover the capex within 25%, within 12 months. That's just impossible, to be honest. But if we do see the number improving in terms of first year, how much can we get? Let's just say 20%. What's the estimation for the second year? And the pilot program is a small subset, and as soon as we can scale it, hopefully the capex can come back probably a bit faster. I'm not saying there's not a risk. I think that's not something I would like to say. There's always a risk. But if the data supports us and we can get people, because people are the key, like people at the ferry port, the operator, do they have the buy-in in the system? And if they do, I believe that we have a high chance to succeed.
Just want to comment, right? So it's basically dollar for dollar, right? How much dollar you put in capex and opex, and then how much dollar it will introduce the saving. And if it doesn't match, then it means there is no unit economics.
Okay. If I'm being really honest. Oh. Sorry.
We have a minute left for maybe one more question.
Yeah. I saw your video as well earlier, and you had this very interesting thing that you said, that a lot of the team is what builds solutions, and you mentioned people
that's
also.
True,
here.
actually.
You also mentioned that the AI will keep learning, and then people take a backseat eventually. So how do you balance like what's done by AI and what's done by humans?
Good, very good question. For me, at least for us in McEasy, we always start with the use case. We don't just let's just use this AI for what? Why do you want to use it? If we have a good use case, the next thing we do is we usually try in a small team. Like I have a team that tried Copilot about 18 months ago now, I think. And then we compare the result versus before versus after. And then we figure out the pitfall, what works, what doesn't work. And that's when we send it to the whole team. And the idea is the AI are there to support you. They're basically your personal assistant. They support you with the groundwork, but at the end of the day, the decision, the idea should still come from the person. And that's how we approach AI use in McEasy.
Amazing timing, and that's the 3 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you.
You can breathe now.
Eureka, yeah.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks,
another
guys.
round of applause, please, for David.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're trudging along. Our third finalist comes from Malaysia. Please give a warm welcome to the CTO of Borong, Linda Rasip.
Borong is an online wholesale marketplace empowering small shops to restock and manage inventory with ease. Linda, as a fellow Malaysian myself,
hello, hi.
We love that out of the 6 finalists, there's 1 woman and it happens to be in Malaysia. Can we give her a round of applause, please? So Linda, your challenge is a national initiative. The Malaysian government has chosen Borong to lead its digital souk. Bringing thousands of rural and artisanal businesses online, your task is to pitch a hyper-localized platform that addresses limited digital literacy and intermittent connectivity. You have 3 minutes. You already know the drill now, so just let us know and we'll be out of your way.
All right. Breathe. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Linda from Borong. So at Borong, we believe that technology is built to serve people and not the other way around. So for Digital Soap project, it's not a mere marketplace project. It is an inclusion, bringing together all the fishermen or the farmers, small businesses in rural to Malaysia digital future. So since the inception, Borong have done a few projects like this. We call it Desa Hero. Guess what? Desa means village in Malaysian language. And from there, we learn a lot of user personas of doing this kind of project. And I'm going to use that for today's explanation. What are the challenges? 3 main challenges. Number 1, limited digital literacy. Most of the users under this segment is the first-time tech users for business processes. Number 2, internet connectivity, either it's weak or intermittent. Number 3 is trusted community. Trusted community is built based on relationship in rural area, and it's not system. You can't just go in, build the solution, and just go with it. It needs empathy, it needs local context to have the right solution. So what's the solution? 3 elements again. Number 1, onboarding. All users will be onboarded into our light version of Borong platform, which is offline first. and equipped with local language. We also will put on the ground SOC ambassador to actually help to onboard these users. Number 2, connectivity. Offline syncing, SMS fallback, and also data syncing smartly into their phone for inventory and also pricing so that the transaction can happen regardless of the quality of the internet service. Then within 6 months, we should be able to see the transaction on the platform, the trust where the repeat purchase happen, and also the engagement, how much users actually onboarded into the system is a good users and have purchased. And in the long term, after 6 months, then you can start seeing the income increase for those in the household, for those in the business. And with this, inclusion will be made measurable. Every order matters, every project matters, and every connection matters. Life will be improved. And this is how Borong wants to do it. So Digital SOC project is not just a technology here. It is a dignity. It's inclusion. When inclusion is built with empathy and understanding, we will have trust as the most powerful innovation and asset. With that, life will be improved. And that is what Borong wants. And that is what Borong strives for. And that is what I'm, as CTO of Borong, really use as the foundation of my leadership. Thank you.
And she beat the bell, everyone.
With 10 seconds to spare. Let's go.
I don't know whether it's good or not.
All right, we have 3 minutes for judge questions.
Yeah, I am familiar with the space in some ways. I think part of the challenge for the success of these vendors is to be able to have all the inventory with the assets like the videos, the photos, the descriptions of what they're trying to sell, so that then you can then find the right customers that will buy them from them. Okay. And I think my question is, how do you handle that at scale with rural farms or small business owners that maybe are not best equipped to take the photos and to onboard properly their items and their shops?
Okay, tapping into our past experience, all those administrative of creating the SKUs and platform can be done by our team because it's numbers of product actually will be bought over by the rural area. We can start with that. Other than that, it's more coaching and also training for the sellers to be able to do that. When we did this, we also have ideas whereby we can have a community hub in the village that can help into the delivering of the item and also logistic of the item. If in Malaysia, in village, the houses doesn't have the house numbers. It's really based on the well-known point in each village. Oh, it's sent to point A and point B. So again, in order to digitalize and also scale up this solution, it needs to have that. It requires all village members to actually part of the initiative.
Linda, could you just give a matrix, what success look like when you're saying about, okay, this is to support inclusion, right? So what do you think in mind for success?
For us, the dream is when the household income is improving. The income bracket of the rural area in Malaysia is actually quite low. And it's a very limited way of them doing things that can increase their income. And Digital SOC, I think, is one of the initiatives that actually can help that because it's supported by sellers, supported also by logistic partners, and we have partnership with the local network like the mosque, the school, and the women association that also can help as a community to build that income improvement. And I think one of the biggest things at Borong, we are looking for that. We are looking to improve the life of not only the businesses, but also the rural nation. Yeah.
Wow, can we give her a round of applause, everybody? Thank you so much, Linda Rasip.
All right.
Please make your way to your seat. And next, we have flying in from Vietnam. Our fourth finalist is the CTO of Vigo Retail, Seetharaman. Let's give him a round of applause.
Vigo Retail's tech helps brands deliver products to even the most remote shops. You can stand here in between us as we prepare. So your scenario is a crisis.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. A major typhoon has hit a rural province, disrupting supply chains. You need to propose a tech-driven emergency distribution plan to ensure essential goods reach thousands of small retailers within 72 hours.
That's right.
All right.
So when there is a crisis, there comes a CTO. Yeah.
Yes. Your time starts now.
Yeah. I'm Mani, CTO at Vigo Retail. Vigo Retail primarily serves the mom and pop stores, the general trade and the modern trade in Vietnam. So let me go to the problem statement directly. Within 72 hours, we need to revive the broken supply chain from the rural areas and help our thousands of outlets to sell it back to the community, because the outlets are the lifeline for the community there. Now, I will do this in 5 phases. The first step is to do the assessment of the situation. So where we feed in the GIS data and the other open map data into our DAS platform, which basically identifies all the warehouses that got impacted and basically reroute the orders from those outlets into a different distributor. So Vigo positioned only 2 to 3 distributors in a province, which means those distributors we identified would be actually 100 to 200 kilometers away from the shops. So we need to find some closer micro hub closer to the shop. Only then they will be able to do the last mile more effectively. So that is where our micro hub optimizer comes into play, which basically clusters the outlet using k-means and other algorithm, and basically identifies the micro hub closer to the each cluster. So each micro hub, which basically serves 100 to 200 outlets, and within 5 kilometers radius. Then, once we identify the micro hubs, so there will be 2 types of micro hubs: the static ones and the dynamic ones. In a flooded area, we will use our truck itself as a micro hub or the pickup points. So this micro hubs will be partnered with 3PL logistics. In the extreme conditions, we will partner with the NGOs and the government agency to do the delivery through the boat. The third step is to do the demand assessment and validation of the demand, because that's very important. So using the past historical data, we know exactly what is the demand for the essential goods from those outlets. So using that, we will generate a provisional orders for the shops, because we do not want to overestimate the supply. The inventory wastages will be high. So, and we ask the on-the-ground team to do the confirmation of those orders. Once we have the exact demand, we'll be able to match it to the supply. Our inventory engine will be able to identify the nearest suppliers or distributors. If in case if the distributor is not able to fulfill the supply, it will be routed to the next suppliers, to fulfill those goods within 24 hours to 48 hours. So by this way, we will be able to, not only revive the supply chain, but have a very robust technology backbone, which help us in the disaster. The key metrics, we'll have a control dashboard where we monitor key metrics like outlet coverage rate, order fulfillment rate, and inventory replenishment rate, and supply lead time.
I'm so sorry, your time is up. Thank you, Mani. Judges, your questions, please.
I can start. Hi, Mani. So the question would be, this is a very tight window of 72 hours to optimize and have a more adaptive and resilient supply chain. How would you ensure technologically the real-time data feed to the platform so that you can make that decisions?
Okay, so I try to leverage the AI tools and even the data platforms. The Vigo DAS platform basically feeds in data from multiple points. So we have a logistics and transportation system which basically feeds in those GPS data from the fleets into our system. Then using those real-time data, which feeds into our DAS platform, we'll be able to identify exactly where those fleets are. In fact, in the dashboard, we will have the real-time monitoring of the vehicular movements. And through this, we'll be able to optimize exactly. The other thing is, through the suppliers, right? Like the replenishment orders will automatically go into the suppliers. So there, the transportation system will again generate the for the logistics flow from supplier to the distributor. So this way, we will be able to monitor exactly the lead time from each of these touch points, from to the distributor to the micro hub to the outlets.
Just curious, Mani, right? So I think the way that you explain is pretty clear in terms of the sequence, right? But how would you differentiate between business as usual and emergency? Because what you're saying is that, okay, you need to make sure that the route is optimized, you need to make sure that the goods is there. What is the difference between sunny day scenario and then the typhoon scenario?
Sure. So in a normal scenario, the DAS system will basically routes to the distributor, and there is no crisis mode, which means all the goods will be prioritized equally. Whereas in a crisis mode, only the essential goods will be prioritized. So that's the first difference, which means people looking for rice survival, right? Like which means rice, those breads and the sanitary napkins and the medicines. This will be prioritized. The second is there will be no micro hubs, in a normal scenario. A normal scenario, the distributor, because we position the distributors closer to the community. So it means within 5 to 10 kilometers, they'll be able to deliver. But in this case, it's a crisis. So we have to find a micro hub, which is a temporary hub. And this micro hubs, it could be even a van, fight and van, which will be used as a micro hub. In a flooding situation, we cannot have a luxury of a static place. So that's, that way we will be able to, deal with this situation. And that's the primary difference between the crisis and the normal times.
And that's time. Thank you so much, Mani.
Thank
A
you.
round of applause,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. All right, next up from Thailand, please welcome the CTO of OsseoLabs, Patcharapit Promoppatum, also known as Joe. A round of applause, please.
OsseoLabs is a pioneer in medical technology, designing and 3D printing custom bone implants and surgical guides. Wow. Joe,
yes?
You are facing a mass casualty incident.
Yes.
Your challenge is to describe how you would rapidly scale production to supply over 100 patient-specific implants to multiply hospitals across 3 countries.
Awesome.
All while navigating different medical regulations under extreme time pressure, like you are right now.
Right, definitely, yes.
You have 3 minutes, so
Okay.
when you're ready, we're gonna walk right behind you, and you can go.
Okay, hi everyone, this is Joe from OsseoLabs. I think at the time of crisis, our priority is simple. It is to save lives and providing surgeons with essential tools that they need to do so. The next step is we need to identify what are our limitations and acknowledge it. For OsseoLabs, even though our software can scale rapidly, our production capacity cannot. Our facility was meant to print, say, 100 cases a month, not 100 cases a day. Therefore, even we start talking about AI automation, we should be talking about what kind of suitable treatment we should give to the surgeon and patient under this crisis. Under this scenario, it may not be possible to precisely 3D printed patient-specific implant to every patient, since it will be too slow. We need to come up with solutions that work and fast, and that's what matters most. When you look into medical devices production, there are 3 important pillars. First, designing, manufacturing, and logistics. My strategy is to leverage AI designing platform and do decentralized manufacturing, and hope that these two would bring to a faster shipment of medical product to the surgeon. I will start talking to surgical team at each hospital, and let's agree on what are alternative treatment plan we're going to be providing to the patient. Then let the surgeon have access to our 3D print designing platform. Let them process the CT scanning, look into the bone defect, and have the 3D model, which could be ready within a minute. Once those models become available, instead of printing things ourselves that would take a few days to do it, we can digitalize, ask our local partner to print instead of metal, print them in polymer. Since the polymer 3D printer are much easier to find. Once the polymer printer model become available, the printed model can be sent to each hospital, and the surgeon can use it as a template. They can start molding biocompatible material devices that already available at each hospital and lead to intermediate treatment to the patient.
But still, even though we come with a clear SOP, some human errors and process errors still possible. So the way that I plan to quality assurance, which is as important as the speed, is to have the surgeon log into the platform, look into the digital file, and then they know exactly where this file get printed. And when the physical object sent to the hospital, they can use the digital file, make a comparison with the printed model, and see if they can perfectly match. Based on this strategy, I hope that we can bring the patient-specific solution rapidly. I think the key is in understanding, reassuring what we actually needed at this urgent matter, having clear communication, decentralized manufacturing, and use the technology to bring transparency, coordination, and traceability to all the entire working process. Thank you.
Oh, 20 seconds to spare. Judges?
Okay, let's hope that scenario never.
I hope to, yes.
Needed, yeah. So, but very, very interesting in a way in which you kind of looked at alternative things. But I think one of the things that wasn't very clear to me was like through the process, if something breaks, like how do you then fix things? So do you have any sort of ideas to say, like it eventually the printed thing reaches the hospital, but it cannot be used.
Okay.
Then what do we do then?
I mean, typically when we do, say, I think when break, we can think about software and the hardware, right? Typically the hardware, there is always a high chance that they will break. And usually when we work, we already expecting that scenario. So we always come up with the spare part. For example, if we need to print something and we know it's critical, we will not only print one, we will print twice. And then we will, I mean, if the first one survives, that's good, but if not, typically the second one survives. And for the software, I think at this time of emergency, it's quite hard to predict what will happen, but I think we need to have a backup plan in which, I mean, for sure we can streamline the process through our platform, but I mean, for sure we need to have a plan B, have a platform that maybe not us, onboard them and hope that they can helping us scale during this urgent crisis.
Hey, I love your company. I love 3D printing and I feel this is a very good use of that. But it's also true that it requires very specialized equipment, right? And materials for those implants to actually work and not being rejected by the human body. How do you deal with the scale of that, in the sense that if you need to print so many things in such short amount of time,
right,
and you don't have enough hardware, you're mentioning using other materials that are not health or probably approved. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, how we navigate through all this, the complexity, right? I mean, typically when you deal with the healthcare, there are the upside and the downside that we need to balance both of them at the same time, right? And typically the way that we do, we talk to the surgeons and see how much, it's always about risk and benefit. Typically if it's, say, the not urgent patient, it's already risk averse, so they want to choose the safer side. But when it comes to cancer, say if you don't do the surgery within 7 days, then the patient will be gone. So it's always about balancing the risk and benefit. I think when it comes to that, it's not about what tech you're using, but it's about understand the stakeholder, understand the need from the surgeon, understand the patient, and I think eventually we come with the best solution that considering all the scenario that may potentially happen.
Round of applause for Patcharapit, Promoppatum, also known as Joe.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. I feel like a timekeeper, Grim Reaper, like lurking at the corner.
I know, it's hard too. No, I'm kidding.
But we have our final contestant for this round from Singapore is the CTO of Nextbillion.ai, Shaolin Zheng.
Nextbillion.ai builds powerful mapping and routing tools that businesses plug into their own systems. You can stand here in between us. There we go. Your challenge involves a logistics client expanding into 3 remote areas with poor connectivity. Your mission is to design a solution using your platform that ensures reliable routing and delivery ETAs, even when the internet is down. You ready?
Yes.
All right, your 3 minutes starts now.
Hi everyone, this is Shaolin. But before I jump into technical discussion, I want to highlight one thing. Because as the CTO and the co-founder of my company, I always need a justification on the investment of technology. So in this case, I will assume that the business value of this remote area has been justified. So the core value that Nextbillion.ai delivers to our customers is about the capability to generate highly efficient and a highly predictable route for a company doing ride-hailing, food delivery, or logistics. But to do that, especially in a remote new region, we will have to map the region first. And how are we going to do that? Instead of talking about the traditional technology, we want to focus on any new thing that can help us to do disruptive innovation to our industry, which I find an answer today. It's agentic AI. So why it can help? Because if you look into map editing, the complexity of map editing comes from the multi-source, multi-model, unstructured, and sometimes even unreliable data input. So our human map editor need to make judgment call even every day. But it is a perfect scenario that today the large language model can solve this type of challenge. So we already see that the AI map editing agent can get that job done in a more efficient way. And then let's talk about ETA. ETA is also a fundamental challenge about data. So how can we quickly achieve a good ETA performance? The answer is that let's start small. So let's focus on the 2080 rule principle. So let's invest 20% of the effort to the most popular region, and then it can solve 80% of the problem, and then let's launch the product. While launching the product, one key thing here is to establish a data loop. Let's collect real vehicle data. A real vehicle data can help us to identify map issue, and then let's send the map issue to the AI map edit agents. With all these, we will have an extremely efficient map data workflow. And with all these kind of things in place, we are confident that within the 3 to 6 months, we will be able to achieve a very good performance of ETA. And finally, about this connectivity challenge, right? So my view is that, so before we design a technical solution, we need to collect all the data points. For example, what is the price of the phone they are having? What is the data they are buying each month? And then you design a solution that can survive with all these factors. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, but your time is up.
Yeah.
Have a thank you, Shaolin, for your pitch. Over to you, judges, for the final Q&A of this round.
Thank you, Shaolin. The question will be, you mentioned about the LLM or Gen AI can help to complete the map that was incomplete. So the question would be, how confident are you in relying to the model that it will not hallucinate? Because if it's image, if it's a song, if it's text, chances are they maybe can predict the next word, the next pixel, the next sound perfectly. But if it's map, is this something that is commonly used? And how would we be confident that the AI will not just made up things in the map?
Yeah, it's a great question. So actually, previously, it's almost impossible to use AI technology in the mapping industry. So we still have a lot of human who is building maps behind the scene. But now we see the improvement of the large language model. So for example, I always say that if you compare an AI model with 99% accuracy with another one with 98% accuracy, it's not about 1%. It's actually about you will need to have double your investment because the number of error you need to handle is actually double because of that one-digit accuracy. So we are not capable to build an LLM, right? But we see the improvement of all these agent type of scenario that other AI company are building. So from us, the right way of doing that is to design that agent in a way that we make each of the tasks very precise. So for example, for this particular small task, the input may be a street imagery, and the output should be, you need to read the traffic sign, and then you need to read the number of lanes. If you design these small steps, very clear, and with the AI technology today, we see something like 98, 99% of that overall accuracy, which is already enough. It's comparable with human editors, but the best part is much cheaper, and they never tires. They can work overnight. So
we have 40 seconds for a quick question.
Follow-up questions to what Pak Norman was asking. So in the case, just in scenario that still it failed, right? What is your fallback plan? Is that what kind of logic are you going to put in place to make sure that it's still working?
We have a complex QA process. So because mapping is the fundamental idea of mapping is actually a graph problem in the mathematics. So for example, if you are trying to build a road network but something goes wrong, from a topology perspective, actually there is technology that you can detect those problems. So that's something you need to have in place.
I'm sorry, Shaolin, but thank you so much for your... A round of applause, please, everybody. All right, that was an incredible first round.
Yeah, I was sweating, even though I wasn't answering the questions.
I was nervous because we had to cut everybody.
I know, like I said, we're like little Grim Reapers
I know.
in the corner.
It's like bad cop and bad cop. Yeah. But anyways.
So that was an incredible first round. So before we move on to the impromptu Q&A, we want to get a general sense of who has captured your attention in the past 30 minutes so far. So it'll flash up right on my left.
There we go.
So I would like to see all the phones in the air, scan the QR code, and just put in your vote.
Our crew is just getting the stage ready for our next segment. So yes, please scan the QR code while they do that. And at the end of this competition, we'll also have a crowd favorite announced.
So don't worry. Yeah, one more question.
Do we get to vote twice?
Oh, I think
good question.
Good question, because you just answered my next thing. This isn't the final vote. You have another chance to show your support later on. So think of this as kind of like a pulse check. Get those votes in now. And are you ready, Miguel, for the round 2? I think we've got the chair set up.
Let's do it.
Yeah, can we have the finalists, the 6 finalists, to come up and join us on stage, please?
A round of applause, please, everybody, as the finalists come up. Okay, we're just moving the chairs a little bit. And let's sit in the same order that we went just now for round 1.
Should you take one end and I take one end? Why not?
They're coming to us, right?
Oh, yes, they are. Sorry. I don't want them to feel lonely. They're like...
All good. How are you feeling? Do you feel like you can breathe a bit better now that round 1 is done? Are you thinking about round 2? Just halfway there, it's true.
But listen, you guys answered, round 1. You were practically, thinking on your feet already. So that was a trial run. Now it's more relaxed a little. We get to read the questions with you. And yeah, whenever we're ready.
All right, so just a reminder for everybody what round 2 looks like. We have, again, this glass bowl in front of us with questions that our CTOs have not seen yet. So our CTOs will come up to the front or to us one by one. We will have them pick one, open it up, we'll read out the question, and they have a minute to answer this question. All right? So we will go in the same order as before. Would you like to do the honors? You can stand. Okay, how are you feeling, first and foremost?
So I felt like I was cut out in the previous round. At least I'll catch up here.
Okay, yes, this is the time to catch up.
Okay, the deeper one.
Our team did an incredible job at wrapping the paper.
All right, so while you read, please show it to us as well, thank you. While you read it, I'll read it out for the audience, just so that you have some time to think too. So what's a failure that shaped you most as a leader? Again, what's a failure that shaped you most as a leader?
So I think it's not about how much you build, what you build, or how big you build. It's about whatever you build has value or not. So I do have a situation where, you know, we thought like we'll go just build this product and that product gonna fly super high and we'll bring a lot of value. And trust me, in 6 months we had to close the product. A lot of technology has been added. Like, you know, we talked about, hi, let's have maps, let's have OCR, let's have whatnot. And then finally the product didn't work. So what I understood is, as a startup, don't dream big and don't do things out of your way because you have a gut feel. Look small, do the MVPs, and make sure the MVPs are actually making sense. Once you have sense into that, once you see the business value into it, you can definitely scale, you can put all the bells and whistles around it, and it is doable that way. So as a leader, I think I learned from that point of view.
Everybody, thank you so much. Next, David, would you like to come to the, what do we call this? The magic bowl.
I will do. You can open it. Sure.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm all right. I've got my friends here now, so I'm okay.
Do you feel any pressure right now?
A little bit, yeah.
A little
sure.
bit, okay. Okay, let me read it for you twice and then your time will start. What's the hardest thing about being a CTO that no one talks about? Again, what's the hardest thing about being a CTO that no one talks about?
Hi, everyone. I would say, hardest thing. So, I would say, probably looking at my past experiences, it's to be able to keep your team motivated when things doesn't go well. Because eventually, at the end of the day, you know that, like when you're an individual contributor, you have control. Everything is within your control. You write your own code and everything. When you manage a team, so much things are outside your control. This is what the CEO wants. This is what the customer wants. The team doesn't necessarily know all the context. They do know some, but not all of them. And when something that they created doesn't really go well to plan, and you can see that they've poured their heart and soul into this. It's just really heartbreaking because there's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do. So you just learn, try to give your best, motivate your team, learn from the mistakes, and just move forward, I guess. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. You can find your seat again. All right, we're going on to our third CTO, Linda. Mix it up, there we go. And how are you feeling right now?
I'm good.
You're good.
So.
All right, I will read it out for you 2 times, and then your time will start. What's the best lesson you've learned from your own team? Again, what's the best lesson you've learned from your own team?
Okay. I think across my over 20 years experience in tech, one of the best things as CTO that I learned from my team is ability to ask the right question is important. Because without that, then whatever we're doing may not be the right thing. And I'm lucky my team in Borong actually well trained in that, have courage to ask the question, and without feeling that, oh, you're stupid, or the question is not to be asked to your CTOs. Again, learning continuously happen through this asking the right question, either from my team or even from the non-tech in Borong, that really helps me as the CTO to continuously learning and brave enough to make decisions because I know my team knows what's the right things to do. So the most important lesson learned and what I crave in my future team is also that ability to ask the right question, capability to ask the right question.
Awesome. Linda, thank you so much. And can we have money up here to grab the question from this magic bowl, as Miguel has shared? I'll be reading the questions twice, and then you can take the time to answer, 60 seconds. So, would you rather launch a product that is imperfect but fast, or perfect but late? Once again, would you rather launch a product that is imperfect but fast, or perfect but late?
I think that's pretty easy answer. Quick is the major thing. So any product, unless it is validated by the customer, that product is just a product, right? So it needs customers' validation, which means we need to launch it first, understand the user feedback, and keep the feedback funnel going, and continuously improve this. Only then we will be able to succeed. In this world, we don't wait for a perfect product, because there is nothing called perfect product, because the product keeps evolving as the customer evolves. So that's my philosophy. So any feature, any idea, what we do is, we do experiments. We come up with the quick MVP, validate the product with the users, and feedback, and basically continue to improve this, through the feedback funnel. So it's a pretty straightforward answer. Thank you.
And can we have Joe to pick your question? Confident, we love that.
Yes.
The suspense is killing me.
Yes.
But it's giving you time. You gotta breathe. When building, do you rely more on data or instinct, and why? When building, do you rely more on data or instinct, and why? Over to you.
Wow, okay. So I build medical product, right? And you would think that I rely mostly on data, and it's actually not. Because, eventually the product out there is already in the market, right? And if you just rely on what existing, you're never creating anything new. So what I rely on the most is talking to customer. I work on medical device. I stand side by side with the surgeons and seeing by my own eyes what they are actually doing in the operation, having a constant feedback on what are the pain points that they see. Sometimes they don't even think it as a pain point, but we may see it from our different perspective. And that's what I rely on most when I'm creating the product. Having direct experience exposure as our customer. Bring it back, talk to your team, talk to them again, get on the feedback loop. And that's the way that I use to build the product at OsseoLabs. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Shaolin. The final question goes to you.
Yeah,
You
leave
don't
me
get
no
to pick.
choice, right?
What is the most difficult feedback you've ever received? One more time. What is the most difficult feedback you've ever received?
Yeah, there was once a time that an engineer from my team, that I am trying to give him a feedback that he's not good at communication, but then he gave me a very strong feedback that actually I'm the one who is bad in communication. So I tried to think about that, and then I realized some part of his feedback is actually true. So as a leader, it's a lot of the time that you forget to listen. You keep talking, and if you have a very strong opinion that will scare the people back, they will then stop hiding their ideas, and then they just listen to you even if it is wrong. So that is my lesson. Thank you.
Let's have one more huge round of applause for our incredible finalists. That was not easy.
I know. I think our finalists deserve at least a high five. So let's high five, high five, high five, high five, high five. There we go.
Yes.
All right. So that's round 2. And now we're going to do a few things before we get to the end of the program. Here are the few things. First, our finalists will be going back to their seats down there. Thank you, finalists, for joining us on stage. A round of applause, please. Our team will be collecting the judges' scores and tallying them. Meanwhile, we're going to ask the judges to join us on stage just to share a little bit about your thoughts on the program and what you've heard from the finalists and the CTOs today. So would you like to please come up on stage and join us? A round of applause for our judges as well, everybody.
And as our judges are making their way and have a seat on the stage, we need for you to make your final decision again. So if you can see here, the QR code is back on the screen. I would like to see those phones up. And this is your last chance to vote for the crowd's favorite CTO. So remember, your vote matters, so make it count. I see a few people having their phones up. I see some people that are not having their phones up. Yeah, I'm gonna call you out. So quickly do the QR code over here on the side of the stage. And are we ready here, Miguel?
Yes, Esther, why don't we sandwich the judges so you can stay on the other side and I'll stay here. All right, Esther and I also have a task to do. So while we're speaking, we're also gonna be looking around because our team will tell us when the scores are ready and then we'll know we can move on to the next segment. But for now, while we're all here, first of all, how is everybody doing? And without giving anything away, what are your general thoughts on the presentations that you saw today? And because you're beside me, maybe we can start from right to left.
Sure. I'm great. I'm very happy to be here in Jakarta in this conference. Very humbled by the performance and the speeches of our CTOs. I don't envy them. I prefer being in that table than you guys here on the stage. And no, I was quite pleasantly surprised by your answers to these very catastrophic scenarios. We could have chosen a bit happier ones.
A lot of crises.
Yeah, a lot of crises and deaths that our dearest CTOs, as always, have to deal with all these crises that happen around the world. So I think they did well, probably better than I would have if I had been in their shoes. So well done.
Okay, so before I said my comments, right? So who, round of raising hands, right? So who thinks that he looks like Bruno Mars? See, I'm not like, okay. Anyhow.
He's my cousin. No, I'm kidding. I wish.
He sings like Bruno Mars too, by the way. He's talented with a mic.
So after it,
are we gonna have karaoke?
All right, so one more time, round of applause for Southeast Asia Technologies Finalists. I think, boy, these guys, right? Like what Sebastian said. So if it were us that is standing here, probably I wouldn't even make it. So really great presentation of what you're doing. And I think a lot of the force of what you're doing is also thinking about the greater goods, right? What you're doing is actually impacting the other people. So that is very good. And I know that in the stage, you are actually having a lot of, what is it called? Stage fright. But I am sure in your day-to-day job, you're actually delivering well. One of the things when you were asked, what is something that CTO is not known of, right? I would say that being a CTO myself, you are always becoming famous when things go wrong, right? When things go well, everybody will forget about you. So, but that is not the way to get famous, by the way. But then again, just like what Sebastian said, we are humbled by your presentation, and you are basically inspiring a lot more audience to be the next CTO. Thank you.
All right. First of all, for all the finalists, congratulations. You made it this far. Become a finalist. It's not an easy effort. So you can reach to this level. It's already a great thing. Congratulations once again. And then the other part is thank you for taking Asia to running this event and invite me as one of the judges. Doesn't mean like I'm up there and I'm judging. It's just peer review, so to speak. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. And then I learned a lot as well from all your presentation and your pitch. They were all great. I take 1 or 2 lessons from there. And then as a judge, it is kind of difficult to define who's the best artist when you only judge based on 1 or 2 songs. You know, if you know what I mean. So, but this is the best proxy that we can use to define who's going to be the CTO of the year. Whoever going to become that, congratulations. And once again, you've made it this far. So whether you're going to be the CTO of the year or not, that's a different thing. Thank you.
I know we are filling time till they, like total up the results and all that. But I think, like Sateesh deserves a big round of applause because he went first twice and everybody else could see that there's a 3-minute bell and all that. But he went without, he got a bell even at the beginning, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, I know. So, yeah, big shout out for that. And Shaolin didn't get a chance when he was picking his final thing. What everybody left for him was what he had to do. And it was a tough one, but you put yourself out there. You're not afraid to be vulnerable. So, yeah, I mean, it was great to see those things. And then, yeah, I mean, each one of those pitches, I wanted to kind of say, okay, I was so drawn into each one of those. I wanted to sit and have a one hour discussion after that, right? Saying, I had so many questions, I had so many things. But it's so hard for you to just try and like wrap everything in 3 minutes and then present a technical solution, talk about, get the questions. Easy for us to sit and ask questions, but for you to kind of, stand here, look at everyone and then answer those questions. So yeah, big courage and kudos to that. I think the even bigger thing is the courage that you guys show every day. Like he mentioned where, you go and do this. Like she's got a migration tonight. She's told us that. And she's like looking at the clock to say, okay, done, I have to go back to a migration after this, right? And so...
it's only for 22 million subscribers. Well.
It's okay, it's to AWS, it'll all be fine. So yeah, but yeah, having to do that every single day, you're sort of on stage every single day in some ways, right? So yeah, big round of applause to everyone.
Okay. Can I just say they did much better at keeping time than we did?
No, I think all of you have been keeping time, and I think even the finalists, as you guys were wrapping up your questions, they were like, we're going to answer right now. We have 30 seconds on the clock left, so I think both ways. So thank you so much, judges, for your kind compliments to the 6 finalists today. And yeah, one final round of applause. I believe the results are ready.
Yes, they are.
So, hey, by the way, if the result is not ready, we can actually hear you sing.
Yes!
I think I see 2 thumbs up, so I think they're ready. All right, but judges, please do stay with us on stage first. Esther, would you like to join me here in the middle as we prepare to announce our winners for today?
So first to present our 3rd place winner, please welcome Yessie Yosetya. Let's give her a round of applause, everyone.
You can stay in between us. Awesome.
It's all right. And now for the results. The award for 3rd place goes to... Shaolin! And we have you on stage, CTO of Nextbillion.ai.
Amazing. Let's have some time for photo taking.
Awesome. Congratulations, Shaolin.
Amazing.
Can you join me over here?
All right. Next, for our runner-up, please welcome Norman Sasono to present the award. You can stay here between us again. There we go. Thank you, Leona. All right. And the runner-up for the 2025 CTO of the Year award is... David! All right, come on up, David.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And can I have both of you join me to the side of the stage? A huge congratulations. Now, for the moment you've all had a say in, the crowd's favorite CTO. To present the award, let's welcome Sebastian Rodriguez. Remember, this is your vote. So the winner of the crowd's favorite CTO is... David! It's not unfair. I mean, if the crowd votes for you, the crowd votes for you, David. Yes, a round of applause for David. So, Miguel, we're finally here.
Yes, Esther, we are. And again, to all our CTOs who competed today, as the judges mentioned, you made it this far and you're building really, really, really good technology that's changing lives. And so thank you for that. Whoever the winner is today, thank you for being here and thank you for doing what you're doing. But now, we're moving to announce the winner of the Tech in Asia Conference CTO of the Year, powered by AWS. And to do the honor, please welcome Pandurang Nayak from our partner, AWS, to present the grand prize. Is that a drum roll? Wow, that's a very long drum roll. All right. Our grand winner of the Tech in Asia Conference CTO of the Year 2025 is, drum roll, Congratulations, Joe.
Surprise for me too. It's a surprise for me too. I think I was a little too close. What a moment. One more time, congratulations to our winner and to all our finalists. Can we please invite all 6 finalists to the stage, as well as our esteemed judges, on stage for a group photo.
We are the first ones to start going around and say, like, we are a bank, but don't be afraid of us.
When I retire and I can see that these people that have worked with me, they've become leaders themselves, that will make me really happy.
I want the world to remember me as a leader who always put impact first.
Vigo stands for social enterprise because we actually provide value to the lowest set of the community around us to help them grow.
I try to see any translation that I can utilize my knowledge to really make an impact to other people.
My father bought me a computer when I was, just entered my primary school. From that moment, I started to realize that this is something I would love to do in the future.